In today's Leeds news, Leeds weekend results, loan watch, Joseph Paintsill latest, update on Nadeem Amiri, Leeds make Spence approach, more transfer links, Tanaka move latest, and Glenn Kamara update. Hi folks, Jay here on the 28th of August with your Leeds United news in what is looking like the start of a very busy week for Leeds. Good result of the weekend. Coming to this week, Leeds probably arguably need 5-6 players to come in to really finish off this squad and to put a bullet point at the end of at the start of that aggressive transfer window that we were promised. So far so good in terms of what's come in. Sensible, good signing so far. We'll have to wait and see if that continues, but we'll get into this. We'll start off with stuff that's not going to change. This will change rapidly over the course of the week. The plan for this week will be to do a couple of live streams each evening, as well as things will change rapidly over the week. And we will be doing a live stream for the final hour on Friday between 10 and 11 p.m. on the last hour of the transfer window, like we did last year as well, so we'll do that again. We'll crack on with this. We'll start off with the weekend results, and the Leeds United under-21s lost their first game of the season after a very good win against Manchester United at Old Trafford. They lost 5-2 away to West Ham. Connor Douglas and Keane Coleman with the goals for the under-21s, so I have to rejig now. Sonny Perkins has moved off to Oxford, so there's a gap in that side that needs to be plugged probably. The women's team, they had a 4-1 away victory to Leek Town. Abby Brown, Jess Rossio with 2, and Macy Ellis with the other goal for them. Those goals and the highlights of that game are available on leedsunited.com. Worth checking out, some nice goals in that as well. Also, we're pointing out Rick Passmore has left his role as the Leeds United women's head coach to take up a role in the WSL, something Leeds really need to start working towards, getting that team into the WSL. So a good result considering the manager had just stepped down. There will be a new look Leeds United ladies team there as well, and have to see how they get on. But good result, good win, and that's 2 in a row for them, so good start to the season. Moving on to loan watch, and we'll rattle through this really quickly. Brendan Aronson was sent off for 2 bookable offences inside the first 21 minutes for Union Berlin, who at that point were winning 1-0, went on to a 1-1, and then they finished the game with a 4-1 victory. Max Fober played 90 minutes again for Gladbach as they lost 3-0 to Bayer Leverkusen. Rasmus Christensen, Diego Llorente both substituted at half-time in Roma's 2-1 defeat to Verona. Reports in Italy that Jose Mourinho is not happy with the acquisition of Rasmus Christensen. Mark Rocca had another good display for Real Betis, however a 4-2 defeat for them this week. And Robin Koch played 90 minutes, was booked in that game, but was involved in the Mainz goal in our 1-1 draw there. Let's get into the transfer stuff. There's quite a lot to get through here, and we'll try and keep it as brief as we can because it will change, so there's no point in draining the ocean on this one. So we'll start off with Joseph Paintsill, the latest on this. This one has changed an awful lot over the weekend. On Friday, it looked like a deal had been done. However, reports claimed that Genk weren't happy with the structure of the deal. Leeds offered a 10 million bid. I think it was 8 plus 2 was the full structure. They wanted 10 up front. There have been negotiations over the course of the weekend. Reports this morning stated, coming out of Genk, that the player himself wasn't keen on the move and the deal was off. However, according to reports later today, they are now suggesting that the deal is very much still on, and the discussions and the argument at the moment, the delay is due to the player having talks with Genk around his exit or his loyalty bonus that he gets on his exit for not forcing a move or asking to be transferred. It does state that a deal has been agreed between the two clubs, and it does say that the player has also agreed personal terms with Leeds as well. So we'll just have to wait and see with that one. It's a messy one. There's no real strong links from any real report coming out there, but the Athletic are saying there is still movement on that one as well. Speaking of deals that look like they were dead but might not be dead, Nadeem Amiri, deal agreed last week on Thursday. Looked like he'd come in for Friday. He was named in the Leverkusen squad then by Xavi Alonso. It came out then that due to a family reason, his wife is pregnant, and due to a family reason, Amiri has decided not to travel to Leeds. Now, the issue with this is he said no, then he said yes, and now he has said no again. Kicker in Germany are reporting that this decision by the player to agree, disagree, and then agree again, or the way around, has actually damaged his reputation, and he might actually struggle to get a move that he's looking for. He is possibly trying to hang on till the end of the window to see if he can get a closer to home deal. Leeds don't believe that this deal is off, according to Phil Hay at The Athletic, and are still pursuing this one. So that could be one that goes closer to the wire as the player is waiting to see what happens in the window as well. He has been told he'll probably have a bench season at Leverkusen. He was in the squad, was on the bench, was unused at the weekend. So have to keep an eye on that one and see what happens there. The next one to talk about is Jed Spence, and according to Phil Hay and The Athletic, Leeds have made a formal approach to Spurs for the fullback. It says that Leeds are looking at a season-long loan deal. Spurs apparently are open to this as well, and we could see that move pretty quickly. Fingers crossed. That could also have been done over the course of the weekend as well. There were some flights from London up to Leeds Bradford over the course of the weekend, but you know, those flights don't always mean anything. Moving on, let's talk about some more links that are floating around but haven't got a huge amount of detail in them just yet. Charlie Taylor, according to The Athletic, is still a player Leeds United are keeping an eye on. Taylor hasn't been in the Burnley squads and would be a straightforward move for Leeds. Again, this could be just one they're waiting on. Sam Byram getting a little bit of an injury at the weekend, although it's not a bad injury. It's an adductor injury. You've got Poveda, Byram and Dan James all out with adductor injuries. That's caused by explosive movement. It's usually not a serious injury, so they should be back in a week or so nothing major there, but Leeds still probably need to bring in the left back. Also, apparently Luke Thomas from Leicester, according to Team Talk, so probably not, but they are suggesting that Leeds are very interested in taking Luke Thomas from Leicester out for that position, so that's going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on as well. Leicester obviously rivals. Leicester and Southampton starting to lose players late in this window as well, key players, so that's kind of evening up the relegated sides playing rosters so far. Moving on to some more tangible links, and we'll talk about AO Tanaka. According to Phil Hay, the Tanaka links are valid and are strong. Leeds have put in something like a €2.5 million deal, so about £1.75 million for the player. The deal apparently, according to The Athletic, has been accepted by Dusseldorf. There's rumours the player is currently travelling to Leeds for a medical. It's not guaranteed yet. Player is kind of a 6, kind of an 8, has played as a 10 on a couple of occasions, can play there. Would be a pretty good interception kind of player. He likes to read the game, nick in, get tackles. There's a lot of similarities to kind of Adam Forshaw's stuff when he was fit. So an interesting one, but very, very cheap, but is coming from Dusseldorf. So can he adapt to the Championship is going to be the question there. But maybe a player that we're looking at bringing in as cover. Trying to keep an eye on things as they're going. I feel like Romano's sitting here with my phone open the whole time, just to see if anything's happening, and nothing just yet. The other deal that that's been rumoured over the course of the weekend is the one we keep talking about, Glenn Kamara, but yet nothing has still happened on this one. According to reports in Scotland, they suggest Leeds made a £5 million bid for Glenn Kamara over the weekend, and it was accepted by Rangers. It reports that Glenn Kamara had agreed personal terms with Leeds already and will travel to Leeds for a medical yesterday or today. As of right now, there is no further update on that. Romano is reporting that this bid has gone in. However, Romano did report that Amiri to Leeds was done dusted and that he'd have an exclusive report out that day, which subsequently, obviously, with the deal being off, hasn't happened. So, Glenn Kamara, Tanaka, Charlie Taylor, Luke Thomas, Jed Spence, Nadeem Amiri and Joseph Paintsill. That's your list today of potential targets for Leeds. If you go through that, Paintsill's a wide player, could play as a 10. Amiri's a 10. Spence is a fullback. Charlie Taylor, fullback. Luke Thomas, fullback. Tanaka, an 8 or 6. And then Glenn Kamara, also an 8 or a 6 as well. So Leeds plugging up the gaps that they need to plug up. But the number 10 for me is going to be a very important one. But that's it for now. As it changes over the course of the week, we'll probably do a couple of live streams this week just for the week that's in it. So if you're into live streams, great. If you're not into live streams, don't worry about it. I'll be back every morning with the news and I will update every morning as what's happened the day before. So if you missed the live streams, you won't miss out on anything. I'll make sure it's covered anyway. So, and I'm fully aware that most people that watch this don't have Twitter, so I'll try and keep you as updated as I possibly can. Anyway, have a great day. Fingers crossed for some movement today, and I will see you tomorrow or tonight for more Leeds Night news. See you then. Bye.